Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all football ages, welcome to the Die Hard Football Podcast, live from Super Bowl 57 in Glendale, Arizona. Wait, hold on 1 second. We're not in Arizona? We couldn't book a flight? Well, we're not in Arizona, but we are going to talk about the Super Bowl. It is this Sunday evening to be exact. 5:30 Central Time, 3:30 Pacific Time. If you're in Arizona Mountain Time, it will be at 4:30 in Arizona time. Just check your local time zones and schedules and TV guides because it will be on Fox. You have the NFC East champions and the NFC Conference champions, the Philadelphia Eagles, led by Jalen Hurts at quarterback. It is his first Super Bowl appearance in his career. Started playing quarterback in the NFL in 2018. Was a backup to one Carson Wentz, who is not turning out to be a good quarterback, but that's neither here or there. Jalen Hurts got his start in 2018. So did Patrick Mahomes, who is in his, third Super Bowl in 4 years, along with head coach Andy Reid, who went to a Super Bowl in Philadelphia, led by Donovan McNabb. He has been to 2 Super Bowls previously with Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. You have a quarterback who just won MVP on Thursday. Congratulations to Patrick Mahomes and winning that award for the second time in his career. Let's see if that can result in a Super Bowl victory. I believe that is rare. And then this week you had a bunch of NFL honors situations. We're going to break down both teams and get you set for the Super Bowl. First up, it's the AFC West Division champions, the Kansas City Chiefs. They had a spectacular 2022 NFL season. Once again, led by Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. We're going to break down briefly of their schedule results, basically how they got to this point to get them to the promised land, the Super Bowl. So let's see here. In the regular season, they had a bunch of tough competition. Starting out in Arizona, facing the Cardinals, the place where their 2022 NFL season will end. Question is, will be a positive ending. Kansas City Chiefs won 44-21. Although we kind of knew that Arizona was not going to be a good team this year, even though they came off a spectacular year last year in 2021. That never happened. The Chargers, who were a playoff team this year, Kansas City won that game 27-24. Tough competition, not in overtime victory, but it was a 3-point win nonetheless. Very close game. I guess you could say the Colts were hanging on by a thread, even though they got rid of a coach, and maybe are going to sign Jeff Saturday to be their coach. But, excuse me, they faced them. And surprisingly, they lost by 3 points. That would be their first loss of the 2022 NFL season. Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tom Brady also played them in the Super Bowl a couple years back. Chiefs won that game in Tampa Bay 41-31. So right now, they're 2-0 in the playoff gauntlet against playoff teams this year. Raiders are up next at home. 30-29 was that score. Chiefs won that. Bills, the Buffalo Bills. No one circles those wagons like the Buffalo Bills. Unfortunately, their wagon broke down. Well, actually, the Chiefs' wagon broke down because the Bills won that game 24-20. Second loss of the season for the Chiefs. They end up 4-2 at that point. Final game before the bye week. They take on the 49ers. That's a whole other story for another day for the 49ers. I believe this is the point where they had the 49ers had Trey Lance. Yeah, it didn't help for him, but it was a close game, I guess. 44-23 was your score. Chiefs won that game. They end up at the bye week 4-2. So they're basically 3-1, 4-1 against playoff teams this year. So far, not bad. So they get off the bye week. They got the Tennessee Titans. Titans have been an up and down team this year. Took overtime to win this game for the Kansas City Chiefs. 20-17 is your score. They go on a 3-game gauntlet winning streak, defeating the Jaguars, the Chargers, and the Rams. Rams, your 2021 Super Bowl champions. Horrible year for them. We'll get to that down the road. So they won 4 games in a row off of the bye week. The Bengals kind of had them trouble. 27-24 is your score. Bengals win that game. And then after that loss, the Chiefs are just on a roll, winning 5 games in a row to end the regular season. Broncos, Texans, Seahawks, Broncos again, and the Raiders to close that out. That Houston Texans game. The Chiefs won it 30-24, but that game had to end in overtime. So far this season, 2 overtime games, 2 overtime victories. Hopefully, the Chiefs don't need overtime to win the Super Bowl, or at least compete in the Super Bowl. So they end the regular season, or the season overall, 14-3. They win the AFC West. Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes are heading into the playoffs with the first round bye, home field advantage throughout the playoffs, and move on advancing to the divisional round of the postseason. So they skip wild card weekend. In the divisional round, they take on the Jacksonville Jaguars, who defeated the Chargers in surprising fashion. We'll get to that game down the road for both sides in due time. We're not there yet. We're covering the Super Bowl, the biggest game ever in professional football. So the Chiefs take on the Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence. Not a good game it was a close game for both sides. 7-point victory was your margin of victory. And the Chiefs won that 27-20. And they move on to take on the Bengals, the number 3 seed. 23-20 is your final score. And now they meet. Oh, I don't know. Who are they again? Oh yeah. They're the Philadelphia Eagles. It is a battle of the number 1 seeds. The Chiefs on the AFC side are your number 1 seeds. And then on the NFC side, you have the Philadelphia Eagles. Now let's take a look at their schedule. Break down their season a little bit. So they had 6 games before the bye week. Impressive, I know. For the first 6 weeks of the regular season, became all wins. They ended up with a record of 6-0 heading into the bye week. Their schedule looked like this. Lions on the road won that 38-35. Minnesota Vikings 24-7 was that score. The Washington Commanders 24-8. That's a weird score. So Detroit and Washington were on the road. Minnesota was at home. Jacksonville was played in Philadelphia. 29-21 was your score. The Cardinals. So both teams had to play the Cardinals. Both teams won against the Cardinals. 20-17 was your score. And then the Cowboys without Dak Prescott. 26-17 was your score. 6-0 finish in that one. Heading into that bye week. After the bye week, they go 2-0. Impressive. After that, they play at home against Washington, lose that 32-21. Not so good. That's where they got their first loss of the year. Then after that, you had another 5-win stretch. Colts, Packers, Titans, Giants, and the Bears. Eagles beat the Colts 17-16. Eagles beat the Packers 40-33. Titans. Eagles won that game 35-10. Eagles took on the Giants 48-22. And you got the Bears. Eagles won that 25-20. Odd scores, but impressive. 13-1 is your record. Then their quarterback, Jalen Hurts, hit a bit of a snag with a little injury, out for the remainder of the season. I think it was at that Bears game he actually got hurt. But for the next 3 games, to my knowledge, Jalen Hurts was yet to be found, and it showed. Gardner Minshew, who had a coming out quarterback moment, he'd been a starter before over in Jacksonville with the Jaguars. Unfortunately, we didn't see that version of Gardner Minshew and his mustache. He lost 2 out of his 3 games that he played. Luckily, the Eagles had clinched their spot in the playoffs. They lost against the Cowboys. Dak was back in that game. 40-34 was your score. Saints, 20-10 was that score. And I believe Jalen Hurts came back for this game against the Giants because they won that game 22-16. 14-3 was their record. Like the Kansas City Chiefs, they got the first round bye in the home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Only number one seeds get that distinction in the playoffs nowadays. So that's how we get to the playoffs. Playoffs? Yes, the playoffs. Holy mackerel. So, in the playoffs, they skipped the wild card week and they got the first round bye. They go at home still against the Giants, the 6th seed Giants, win at 38-7. Then you have the 49ers. That was a fun game. Not if you're the 49ers, though. I mean, if you're a 49ers fan, I feel bad for you. You throughout the season, you've lost every quarterback. You lost 2 quarterbacks in this game. Lost 2 quarterbacks in the regular season. At one point, I think Christian McCaffrey was your emergency quarterback, and he really couldn't help you. It opened the door for the Eagles to win that game, and they did 31-7. Steamrolled both NFC teams to get to this point. Now I could tell you my score or my prediction for this game, but I think I'm going to tease you just a little bit. We're going to move on to NFL Honors 2022 season, 2023 year. It was hosted by Texas's own, North Texas's own, Kelly Clarkson, who really didn't hold back her fandom of the Dallas Cowboys, America's team. She wore a Dallas Cowboy dress, which I thought was impressive. But that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about fashion. We're talking about awards. And yes, it's probably the only award show I do watch. I kind of follow the other ones, but the NFL honors are the place to be for NFL awards, and we're going to cover the biggest awards in just 1 second. All right, people. Here we go. After a little water break from talking so much, one man crew here. We're going to go through the awards. I think I'm going to skip the MVP award for just a second. And we're going to go through. Oh, yeah, we're going to skip the MVP. Coach of the Year. You had Jacksonville's head coach. You had the 49ers head coach. And you had the Giants head coach. Congratulations goes to Brian Daboll of the New York Football Giants for winning AP Coach of the Year. The Associated Press AP Assistant Coach of the Year goes to D'Amico Ryans, defensive coordinator, now head coach of the Houston Texans. But at the time of this award, he was with the San Francisco 49ers. Let's go on the offensive and defensive players of the year. On the offensive side, wide receiver Justin Jefferson of the Minnesota Vikings. And then on defense, San Francisco's defensive end, Nick Bosa. Excuse me. Pepsi NFL Rookie of the Year is Aiden Hutchinson, defensive end from the Detroit Lions. Next up, we have a couple of New York Football Jets winning awards, and they are both on offense and defense. Your AP Offensive Rookie of the Year is Garrett Wilson, wide receiver, and your AP Defensive Rookie of the Year, Sauce Gardner. A former New York Jet, now Seattle Seahawk, quarterback Geno Smith. Congratulations to you on winning Comeback Player of the Year. Although somebody tell me the definition of Comeback Player of the Year, because I don't know what he's coming back from. Yes, he did. He was not a starter for many years. Maybe that's what they're going off of. I don't know. But he did win Comeback Player of the Year. So congratulations to him. We'll skip that award coming up. Talk about that one. Salute to Service Award. Washington Commanders head coach Ron Rivera. Joe Burrow is your Air Player of the Year by FedEx. Josh Jacobs of the Las Vegas Raiders, running back, is your FedEx Ground Player of the Year. Now, we all like celebrations, and yes, they have a category for that one. For the entire team, the Bud Light Celly of the Year, with their best rendition of a roller coaster celebration, the Cincinnati Bengals. The Deacon Jones Award, Nick Bosa, the San Francisco 49ers defensive end. Josh Jacobs is back on the board, running back for the Las Vegas Raiders. He gets the Jim Brown Award. The Art Rooney Award goes to Calais Campbell, defensive end of the Baltimore Ravens. Next Gen Stat. Moment of the Year, Justin Jefferson's catch against the Bills. He is a wide receiver from Minnesota. And Fan of the Year. Hopefully I can get that one day. He wins for supporting the Seattle Seahawks. Before I get to the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2023, your NFL Man of the Year award winner, quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. No, not Cooper Rush. Dak Prescott. And I kind of mentioned it, I think, in the beginning of the episode here, but Patrick Mahomes. He wins his second NFL MVP award. Quarterback for the Super Bowl participant Kansas City Chiefs. Oh, wait, I said that wrong. Kansas City Chiefs. And now your Pro Football Hall of Fame, which is defensive heavy. A lot of defensive players coming into this class, in the Hall of Fame class this year. Darrelle Revis, excuse me. Defensive back, he played for the Jets, Buccaneers, Patriots, and Chiefs. DeMarcus Ware, linebacker for the Dallas Cowboys, and won a Super Bowl with the Denver Broncos. Wish it was with the Cowboys. Nevertheless, he won a Super Bowl. Congratulations. Not sure if they are related, but Zach Thomas and Joe Thomas are in the Hall of Fame. Joe Thomas, the offensive tackle, played for the Cleveland Browns, while Zach Thomas, the linebacker, played for the Cowboys and the Dolphins. Rondé Barber, longtime defensive back for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, won a Super Bowl for John Gruden and that Tampa Bay Buccaneers-led offense. Chuck Howley, linebacker for the Bears and the Cowboys. Ken Riley, a defensive back for the Bengals. Don Coryell, the famous head coach of the St. Louis Rams and San Diego Chargers. The inventor, I believe you can look that up if you want. I believe he is the creator of the Air Coryell offense. He's the head coach. Coached two teams. And Joe Klico, I think, defensive lineman. He played for the Jets and the Indianapolis Colts. So congratulations to everybody who won an NFL honors trophy, and a special congratulations to the class of 2023 going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It is a huge honor and a privilege to not only get to see, players like this get enshrined to the Hall of Fame, but if you're a player, or a coach, or associated with the NFL, huge honor. Congratulations to all of them. I think I made y'all wait maybe a bit too much or just an amount of time. I don't know. But it's time to pick the game. Remember, 5:30 Central Time, 3:30 Pacific Time, 4:30 Mountain Time in Arizona, or if you're in Denver, um, just make sure. Oh, and it's 6:30 in Eastern Standard Time. Make sure to check your local listings. It is on Fox. Huge pregame shows on both NFL Network and on Fox. Choose your pregame show wisely. Man, both quarterbacks are injured. I think Jalen Hurts has a elbow injury. And then you have Patrick Mahomes, who's dealing with a leg injury. Both say they're prepared enough for this game. They've had 2 weeks to prepare in between their media obligations, and all of that hoopla. I feel like experience goes a long way. Jalen Hurts doesn't have the experience in a game like this. Let's see. I'm going with the Kansas City Chiefs. Not only is it the Super Bowl, but it's the Andy Reid Bowl because he played for the Eagles. Or no, he didn't play for the Eagles. He coached the Eagles, and now he's coaching the Kansas City Chiefs. You have the Kelsey Bowl, the Kelsey brothers on either side. They both play offense. First time in the Super Bowl, two brothers are going to be on the same field. We kind of had that situation with the coaches when the San Francisco 49ers had, I think it was Jim Harbaugh, and then the Ravens had John Harbaugh. I could have had those names mixed up, but it was the Harbaugh brothers, first time coaches who were brothers involved in the Super Bowl. Now we're getting brothers. A lot of North Texas connections if you're in the Dallas Fort Worth area. A lot of connections there with high school football. Kansas City Chiefs were once called the Dallas Texans. So I guess there is a Dallas team in the Super Bowl. It's going to be fun. So enjoy the big game. There's a lot of, there's growing videos about the NFL in the NFL playlist section of the Die Hard Football podcast. So make sure to go there. It's going to be in the description of this video. And I will see you next time for the Super Bowl recap show and preview of the XFL 3.0 regular season. If you thought football season ended with just the NFL, here's a lot more football to go. And I wish you'd join me on this ride. With that, I am Christopher Mabry. Thank you for watching, all of you diehard football fans. And I will see you in the next video. Have a great Super Bowl weekend and be safe.